it's Psychic Medium Queen coming in with another reading. But before we get into that, guys, I want to welcome all my new subscribers. Welcome to the Enlightened family. If you happen to come across this channel, it wasn't by chance. Feel free to join us for more readings like this and readings to aid you on your own personal spiritual path. Don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe. How you guys doing tonight? So happy to see you here too. So happy to see you guys. Welcome to the live. It is nice to hear you too. Thanks for the love, you guys. We're not going to wait long. This is a very important live. I'm only going to wait one more minute and we're going to get started because this is going to be posted to my celebrity channel as well as my collective channel as well for those people who were not able to attend. I'm a firm believer in we're meant to see what we're meant to see when we're meant to see it. And because these will be timeless messages, those that it's meant for, they'll come across it when it's time. So, how is today treating you guys? You guys see the orbs? Spirit is here in full effect, okay? They came out. Okay, I said one more minute. It is 5:36. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to say a prayer, and then we're going to get right into this, you guys. All right, Supreme Being, all it is, I thank you so much for this opportunity to complete this reading for the collective. May it continue to be guided by your love and light and surround and protect us with your most good, most highest divine energy, and only the purest, most positive, highest essence is allowed in this space. I thank you so much for messages of affirmation. I thank you for messages of clarity. Let it be that the messages that fall on the ears of your people, let it be that it is encouraging. Let it be that it is what they need to hear. Give them a guide. Give them solace. Give them direction. And so it is, so shall it be. Okay, you guys. So as you all know, I did the reading last time. However, the Facebook's new policy is they delete videos after 30 days. So I do have those videos, but I never uploaded them to my collective channel. But for those of you guys who were back here in June, you remember what Spirit gave then. Let me thank you all for coming out to this very important live update on the status of our nation. So the last time we visited this, I shared insights from Spirit about the conditions of the prisons where people were being deported, right? I also spoke about The Simpsons and highlighted that someone on their team has psychic ability, which was affirmed by the psychic themselves. Now, the conditions described of the prisons were also affirmed by many who witnessed and experienced them firsthand. Now, the development I can't wait to see unfold, you guys, is that the person in power that is currently in power, we all know who it is, will not be there for long. That seat will be empty. And Spirit also indicated that the entire cabinet will be vacant as well. Now, they added some things that you guys need to know about the good to come and the bad to come, and then we'll delve into the cards, okay? You guys, let me know if you're there, because there's a little bit of a delay. Send some hearts and, make sure you communicate in the comment section. So Spirit is saying that the good to come is mobilization across counties is underway. People helping people, gathering food, supplies to distribute, and ensuring that we take care of one another. We will ensure we have what we need, including growing our own crops. Those marching against fascism will outnumber those on the fascist side, promoting a peaceful protest. Countries are and will mobilize to come together to assist America even more than they are now. Most importantly, if you take nothing else, if you've popped in even for a second, I want you to take this with you. Most importantly, we will overcome. Those in power, the entire cabinet, will not remain. Now, I have to say the bad with the good. There will be burning of the American flag. That's happened a lot, but it's going to happen again. There will be rioting. There will be looting. There'll be money hunger, and greed will take precedence here for a while. There will be tears. There will be continued fear and insurmountable loss that will affect not only us, but other countries. This is serious. And I'm glad for those of you guys who chose to take time out of your schedules to come and sit during this time. And as I told you all in the last reading, Do what it is you're called to do. And this is what I'm called to do. I'm taking time out of my schedule to come and inform the people because this is my calling. This is my purpose. And this is how I help with my voice, with my action, right? So however it is that you can help, make sure you are mobilizing in the way that you can. Because you guys, this is serious. There are things as well the Spirit is given that I am not released to say at this time. However, we will overcome. Yes, it is. It is. So let's get into the card, you guys. And then after, for those of you guys who have paid for one-to-ones, and if people come in, you, Sharon, make sure you post that for me, what the criteria is, because I now, for those of you guys who are not aware, I am now a global advisor. And so global rates have now been applied to my website as well as for new coming clients. So those rates will be posted. If you want to, it's still going to be cheaper here than what my global rates are currently. However, so if you want a one-to-one after this is done, please see the pin post. I know, Sharice, you sent in your funds for your one-to-one, so I'll be taking you first. Okay. All right, you guys. So let's see what Spirit has to say here. Let's get into part 2 of this. All right. Let me know if you guys see the orbs? You see the orbs? All right. Spirit, please let us know what is coming. Okay, right out of the bat, the Two of Swords tells me that we're in a space where we won't know all of the things we're going to be mobilizing against. So this is why we have to really armor up at this time and understand that the people have the power and understand that this will be cleared up. We're under a dictatorship at present. We're under a dictatorship at present. And this is why, for those of you guys who are not aware, October 18th is No King's Day. So if you want to march, there are rallies all over the world, I believe, that are mobilizing. If you want to be a part of the movement, it is a peaceful protest. If you want to go out, find where it's being held locally. You can do that by Googling. So what they're saying is the desire here that's being desired by this dictator, let's call him what he is not going to happen. Because the thing is, the people, while they may deem us peasants, they may deem us ignorant, because it's actually in history books, it was stated that the people are considered sheep. And what do sheep need to have done? They have to be led. They feel like people are stupid. They feel like if we mobilize in our own way, put them against each other, make them believe what we want to make them believe, we can enact so many things like martial law, for example. And the thing about it is let's create fake rhetoric. Let's make it so we can send in troops and we can enact this thing. There's nothing going on in these states that warrant the pressures that are being added on top of those being taken illegally. These are not even people who are illegal. These are people who are citizens as well. These are mothers. These are children. And I want to warn my people of color. Sorry. But we're next. And what I mean by that is, if you think that we're not going to be touched in some kind of way, form, or fashion, sorry, we got another thing coming, because this is something that is impacting the world. The only time things change with anything that goes on in our world is when it affects everybody. That's the only time people really mobilize. That's the only time people act. But along with action also comes casualties as a result. So with everybody really rallying together and holding back from this dictator, this fascist, it won't work. Because the thing about it is we have a few people who are in power, who are in control, that want to not only enact martial law, but want to have control. They want to have all the money to do what with? To do what with? You're rich. You're rich. You want a yacht? You want to give your kids money to have sitting in the bank, just trillions. What do you want to do? You want to repopulate the world? What is the goal here? Power. Nothing more than power. To view others as minuscule in comparison. To step on them. to take us back to almost the beginning of time is the desire, it feels like. But the thing is, a lot of people right now, literally the world, especially America, is feeling the pinch, and people are feeling stuck. They're feeling scared. Do I run? Do I leave the country? What do I do here? But Spirit is saying, this is not where you fear. This is where you buckle down and you fight together, because there are more of us than there are of them. And people forget so quickly. Now, understand something. These are not my objective opinions that I'm speaking. I know I literally put it across. It sounds like regular talk, but this is all channeled. This is not my personal opinion. But Spirit is saying that people forget that literally our law and our government is supposed to work for us. When it no longer serves us, you can overthrow it if enough people do it. So it's not just about those in the Senate. If enough people stop paying taxes, if they stop doing their jobs, literally the blackout, that's what it's for on the 18th, we could get some change going. We don't have to even pull arms if we just pull together. And the thing about it is this country, they're giving me the symbolization of marriage. There are a lot of marriages that are coming apart, meaning our Constitution. What was enacted for people to be free. It's all coming apart at present. Like it never existed. All because of a person who's in power. But it's not, understand this, he's just the puppet. He's just the face. It's those few that are behind him in the Republican Party that want these things to happen, and they needed the proper puppet to do it, that dictator. Now, you guys that read with me, they're saying that it'll be good for you to allow space in your readings to be updated so that you do not fear. This is not about causing fear, because the Spirit is saying that we've been here before. One of the things that Spirit gave a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King: "We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." And what that means is, yes, this is going to be a fight. But what is right, to simplify it. And so these things will turn around in our favor. And the thing about it is there are already leaders, even in the Republican Party, that are starting to feel the pinch. They're starting to feel bad about what it is they're doing and what they're enacting on the American people. Because one thing about Americans is we don't forget. However, the majority did originally vote, because I know what Spirit gave me. I understand now why they told me don't reveal the winner of the presidency at the time. The real winner of the presidency was Kamala Harris. But again, the election was rigged. So with the minority, they took over and they made those in that minority start to appear bigger. And what that means is those people who felt like they didn't have a voice now found their voice. Those people that are full of hate. And people are starting to retract because of the simple fact that it's impacting them. People don't care about particular things until it hurts their person. That's the world we live in. It's very selfish. And so Spirit is saying that the reason why I'm allowing this to be clear. And you guys, I literally can feel the pain of the people. I can hear the screams. I can hear the wails. I know the fears that people have, and even with having foresight, this can get to anybody. But this is why Spirit is saying I'm allowing it to happen, because I'm tired of it happening. History has to stop repeating itself, and we have to stop setting ourselves up due to ignorance. A lot of people felt like, okay, if I don't vote, then it's going to be okay. Then he's not going to win. No, that's one less vote. Even though the election was rigged, a lot of people didn't come out. But now people are like, you know what? I'm voting on Proposition 50 so we can get the House back, right? But Spirit is saying here, this will be going on for a while, you guys, unfortunately. But hang on to the end of it. Hang on to the end, because our democracy, as it stood, will be put back together. It's going to be torn apart for a while. But piece by piece, we're going to get it back together. We are. And as a person who has foresight and as an extreme empath, this breaks my heart to see. And I live in one of the counties, you guys, where I've seen people taken. I've seen the cruelty firsthand. I've seen them tear up neighborhoods and be violent and be disrespectful to people just because they feel like they could. And I want to say, if anybody is watching this, my young black men and black women and people of color and anybody that is not the desired color to be in this place, and we know what that is, please be mindful of what you speak. Please be mindful of what you speak, because we are not wanted here at this time. And your very presence is enough to be a threat. So you being a threat, you being argumentative, combative, this is not the time to do it. Spirit is bringing to my remembrance earlier when I saw a video, a young man who was going back and forth with officers. Listen, they are unaliving people. If they are willing to hog-tie children, they will do worse to you. So please take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. And the hangman says that if you have the option to have dual citizenship, if you have the option while things get, if you feel like you just can't stomach this, I would say leave. But if you're going to stay here, do what you can to be mindful, be protective, and understand that I'm sorry. It's just no way around this, because now I understand the gravity of what Spirit was saying. I remember when I told you guys back in 2020 that we would live in a time in the history books. Now we are fast forward 5 years ahead. It wasn't just COVID. It was this that Spirit was speaking to. This will be in the history books, but in hopes that it will not repeat. Literally so many things. Are you guys aware that they're tracking you on social media? We've seen that they've burned books. They're trying to take away history. They're trying to enact laws for people who commit injustices towards people. They're celebrating those people, and they're taking down people who made permanent change. A lot of the things that we use, a lot of the things that we do, that we use on the daily, we don't even know that those were created by people of color. But somebody came and stamped it and said a person that was not of color did it. So they're trying to erase it. So it appears that America is marshmallow colored. They don't want it to be a melting pot anymore. This is why they just overturned Indigenous Day and turned it back into Columbus Day. And if you know anything about history, you know Columbus was a fascist. And he never even set foot on American land. In addition to that, this man had people brutally mutilated, annihilated. He enjoyed having young girls raped. Do we know this? These are the things they want to take away from you. One thing that can't be taken away from you is your knowledge. So make sure that you are reading all these books. Make sure that you are passing down this knowledge to your children. Make sure that they understand the gravity of what's going on. Just because, like, for example, this live was only sent to VIPs intentionally because it's one that's talking about going at politics. So I don't even know how long this will stay up. I'm going to have to grab it and post it before it can be disappeared. But people want to act like it doesn't exist by ignoring it. That's not going to change the situation. It's happening outside of your front door. Just because you don't go outside doesn't mean it's not happening. People are rallying. People are being tear gassed. People are literally being bombed just for being a different color. It's a severity to it. And I said, I asked Spirit just last week, and I said, Spirit, what is it that you want me to do? I said, I'm going to use my voice, use my purpose to reach as many people as I can, because we lack knowledge, because we don't prepare ourselves, we don't ask. So I'm letting my people know, This is what it is. This is what you need to be prepared for. But after it all is said and done, we'll come over it. But the thing about it is, people, when I tell people the outcome, you have to understand the interim is required. The casualties are required, and the casualties are not pretty. I do love the community that's going to happen. I love that it's happening. It's happening in my county right now. We're feeding one another. You know, if you can't show up and donate food, you can donate money. So, Spirit is saying that some people can't take care of themselves. So this is where we step in and we help. But be defensive. Be on the lookout. Be mindful of where you go. I'm not saying ride in fear. I'm not saying that. But some people can't help but leave their home and be in exactly that fear. So we need to be mindful. And there is a grave fear of loss of this. Some people, and please do not listen to everything that you see, because there are some people who are fear mongers and they want to make you fearful and they want to make you cower solely. That's not how Spirit operates. Spirit will give you information that may not be savory because it's true, but it will also give you victory that is to come with it. It's going to tell you the truth. Whereas fear mongers will just tell you, they'll tell you the bad or they'll tell you a lie and have you breaching. So like, for example, somebody stated, you know, you guys get your stuff together, and because this is not going to get any better, it's just going to get worse. It's not changing. We're never going back. That is a lie. Now, while it may take time to rebuild, we will get it back together. This is just a time where Spirit is allowing it to be enacted for us not to repeat past patterns. Just like you guys having your one-to-one relationships, everyday relationships, you guys know as divine feminines and divine masculines that you're constantly tested. So the thing is, we're being tested as a nation in comparison now. This is why Spirit also allows so many people to wake up right now. Why do you think you have so many psychics? Not everybody's called to do this, though, because you have authentics. And I'm going to take some questions, you guys, because we're getting we got 10 more minutes with this. As I say, I'm going to stick with 30 minutes just to update you guys. But this is why Spirit woke so many people up. I said this in my reading back in 2020, if you guys remember. It's literally positioning people for different places. I know that I'm in my county. I know that I'm called to do what I do. So I use my voice every single day, not just in my county. I use it globally. Now, people call for things that are minuscule in comparison to this, and it might be big in that moment, but this is huge for us all. This matters to you and your next door neighbor and anybody that you come across. So it's imperative that we take action, right? So just a few more cards here, and I'm going to take some questions from you guys. Spirit is saying here that the money, and you know, that's another thing. Our nation has money. We have funds that are literally being housed from us. Then nobody's talked about this, I don't believe, because I don't watch a whole bunch of news. Everything gets given this channel. So you guys let me know, like you guys always do, about the affirmations. But it looks like we have money. Not only did we send money, I think they sent, like, don't get me wrong, I mean, don't quote me on the amount, but they sent, let's just say, billions to another country. They found money all of a sudden. So they have all this money. They just want to keep it for themselves, to be clear. Now, listen, our people have been down this road before. We're strong. One thing about people of color, black and brown, is we literally overcome, and we do it with nonviolence. Now, if you're going about it, Malcolm X, he said, by any means necessary. And Martin Luther King says, peace. So you guys, I want you guys to stay encouraged, but be informed, please. Watch what you say on social media, because they have this new thing where they said Trump has plenary control, which is basically means that he can do whatever he wants. So watch what you post on your social medias. Don't juggle back and forth. I'm not saying be a punk, but if you're not trying to have somebody come to your door, knock on your door, and put you in a van because you made a joke or you posted a meme, please be mindful. Exercise wisdom is what I'm saying. Don't set yourself up to get yourself snatched up. It's just not worth it. Okay, I'm going to take a couple questions. Of course, hopefully that made sense, because Spirit had everything spilling out. You guys know I don't ever plan. I just give it as Spirit gives. And it's just literally, I feel like my voice is choked, because that's what the nation feels like. It feels like people feel like they don't have a voice. And I'm seeing little kids lined up against the fence. I'm seeing them in tears. There was an account of little kids being naked and hogtied. There was an entire community taken from their homes. This is Black community. And it was under the auspices of cartels being there, a Mexican cartel. Not one Hispanic was in that building. But they busted those people's walls. They busted the windows, turned over their furniture, and had them on the road for hours. This is happening in our cities, in our states. So just because it's not happening to you doesn't mean it can't happen. No, just because you don't, doesn't mean you won't see it outside your front door. So please, let's be kinder. Let's be more loving to our neighbors. Let's stick together right now. Now is not the time for ignorance. And those people who want to call you out your name, because people are very bold. The ignorant people feel a lot more bolder now. They're doing it on social media. They're doing it in person. They're starting to strange fruit. Now, if you don't know what that saying means, look it up. But they're starting to strange fruit people again. Anytime spirit calls for change, have you guys not noticed that there has been bloodshed? Every single time. It's sad that it takes blood for change to happen. That hasn't changed since biblical times. But according to the Bible, if we want to go there, sacrifice was made by animals until Jesus Christ shed blood, right? But now blood is still shed. In order for change to happen, people can't just have conversations. So let me take a couple questions from you all. What would you guys like to know? And then we'll get into the one-to-ones. Won't stay here long. Did you guys know all of that was going on? I haven't really watched the news. Exactly. I hear that a lot. Just because we don't watch it, you guys, it doesn't mean it's not happening. There were literally whole rallies over here where I stay at, because this was where one of the biggest ICE raids was held. I understand not want to overwhelm yourself, but it's not going to stop it. It's not going to stop it. And I get it. That comes from a space of fear. You want to be enlightened about what's going on, what's surrounding you, because if you go out there blindly, then you're setting yourself up. You want to be aware. Because there are literally ICE, there are spaces where ICE literally, they visit most. For example, Ventura County, where the little boy was snatched and the owner of a restaurant was snatched. So it's not about you watching it because you don't want to feel what it is you're going to feel. Whether we want to see it or not, just like in Gaza, they literally blew that place apart. There's nothing there. People are starving. These kids have nothing. There are people who are literally slowly being unalive because they don't have the bare necessities like water and food that we have every day and we take for granted. They literally are even trying to stop proper information being given by outlets. If you guys don't know, those in the Pentagon, they walked out because they refused to basically be told, we only can tell what you want us to tell. We have to, basically bow down to the king. Whatever he says goes. We have a child in office. And the very fact that I'm even using my voice could be a problem. But this is how much I care about my purpose to you all and what I'm called to do. It has to be to a point where you say that I'm willing to not be here to do what it is I'm supposed to do. I've joked with you guys a lot of times. I'm not afraid of crossing over. And I'm not. Because when you understand how it works, how not death works, we never really leave. We just leave these bodies. But we're eternal beings. So we can't be fearful. Fear and faith don't go one in hand. They don't coincide. Whichever one you feed is the one that grows, to be clear. All right. So that don't let fear keep you from keeping yourselves informed. Please don't do that. That doesn't do anything but keep you ignorant to the circumstance, which in turn actually puts you in even more danger. Trust me, I get it, but it's not going to stop it. Okay. So I'm waiting on a couple questions for you guys, but thank you for the feedback. And I know a lot of people probably weren't able to make it out for that very reason. People don't want to hear the truth either. But you guys know I'm always going to tell you the truth. And my gift is bigger than the things that we can deal with on our day-to-day. These are important issues, and we need to have a discussion and see what Spirit is saying about it, because we also need to stay encouraged. That's my job. And that's why I'm here for you guys. All right. So, as I stated, let's take a couple questions. It's 6:06. It's exactly 30 minutes. I know that was a lot, but I want you guys to hang on to what Spirit gave, which is we will overcome this, and we will literally be here to see it. We'll be able to say, look, I lived through history. It's not going to be as bad as it was in those times of when Hitler was in power. But the thing is, there are too many parallels here that is getting to that space. That's where we need to be concerned. But the thing is, people are always saying, we ain't going back. We're not going back. And people think that by not having a voice, that if you just sit still, it's going to go away. It's not going to go away. We need to mobilize. We need to enact, and we need to use our voices. Just our voice is enough. Just us keeping our dollar is enough. This is something that is going to be contingent upon the people. How much work are we willing to do to eradicate this nuisance? Now, with Proposition 50, everybody voted on that. I should get things moving, because I'm seeing blue. So that means Democrats. We need them back in the House in power. Okay. So it's all contingent on how we move, and we work with those who are advocating for us, to be clear. And the Democrats are the ones that are advocating for the people. And to be clear, like I said, I'm not on either side. I'm literally for people. I'm for human beings. That's what I'm for. Okay. Any other questions, you guys? I'll wait for like a couple more minutes, because I know this thing has a lag. I know it's scary. I know. But you know what? You have nothing to fear. Not even fear itself, because fear doesn't exist. That's something that's created within the mind. The mind creates it to protect you. But understand that you are a soul having a human experience, not the other way around. Remember that. The body can be taken, but your soul never can. Remember. This is why I've told you guys, when you see somebody, those are people who have unfortunately seen the body of somebody who is crossed over, their eyes have glazed over, because the soul has left the body. It's left the home. Lights are not on. It's dormant. So in that space, that eternal being, this is just flesh and blood. I'm seeing a question. Do I see Kamala taking over once Trump is gone? Let me see. Let's see if they'll give it, because I know they gave me context about him getting out. They didn't give context about who's getting in. You know, she'll make her bid. I feel like she will. She will she'll most likely run. I don't know if it's guaranteed yet, because the thing is, Spirit is saying that we're still doing some work on the back end. Just know that we're going to free everybody. We will be in a better position. Because the thing is, she needs money to campaign with. There's some things that need to be put into place. But before we even get to that place, we got to go through all these different things. And we have to mobilize the people, because she's just one person at the end of the day. Understand that. The president is just one person. They're the person that is the face of the house. But they shouldn't have the control that Donald Trump has, to be clear. All right. So, yeah, she's going to need money. She's going to need like a lot of support. A lot. Hopefully some money from the book sales will help. So I'm not seeing any more questions. And we're going to get into Sharice. If anybody else wanted a one-to-one, let me know. Otherwise, after Sharice, we'll be in the live. I just wanted to do a quick check-in and an update to let you guys know what's been going on in our world. What you need to know right now. And if you guys want me to continue to do these, let me know. All right, so let's get into, you're very welcome, Sharon. Is Sharice here for her one-to-one? And if anybody else wants a one-to-one, please comment. Please. Sharice, let's get your 5 minutes. All right, let's take it light. All right, good. There you are. So. Want to thank Sharice in advance for allowing herself to be read publicly. You guys know that other people will be able to hear these. So thank you for sharing. Okay, as it relates to you, Sharice, what's been going on with you is Somebody needs to take a bit better care of herself, because you kind of been upside down as it relates to your energy. Now, we already know as it relates to the masculines that are in your life, i.e. P and Garrett, you've been still giving more than what you should. So your guides are just telling you here to be more mindful of how you're extending yourself, because you're still giving, you're casting pearls before swine. They don't want me to say rubies. They're saying you're casting pearls before swine. You're not even getting a feather in return. You deserve better. And they're also saying here that they feel like your heart is broken at present. Even though you've mended a lot more, there's still some pieces that still need to be put back intact here. And they're also saying, though, even with the brokenness, though, you've become a lot stronger than you used to be. So they love that for you. You are more mindful and you do shut it down much quicker. However, we still need to do much better, because there's still an element of overgiving too much, overextending, talking more than we should, giving more allowance than we should, letting it go on longer. Does that make sense to you, Sharice? And then also, too, you're going to have a decision here. This feels like a choice between two. And it feels like Garrett and P. It really does feel like Garrett and P. So I wouldn't be surprised if P comes back around. Garrett has already made it clear that he's available, right, recently. And we know the history there. But they're saying that you might have a choice between them if you want to deal. So P at present is keeping his energy back. His Gemini energy is saying, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to retreat. I'm going to be an avoidant. I'm not going to talk to you at all, because I'm the man. And he wants to be a baby. So you're like, you know what? I'm walking away from this. And your energy is good. So the way that your energy is coming up to the point now where you're starting to get balanced enough to even pull away from P. So in that way, you'll be able to make a objective decision, because your energy came from subjectivity. You started to love P so much where you started to overlook his red flags. And the lessons that Spirit kept trying to get you to learn were hard to learn, because our hearts are irrational. And your irrational heart was saying, but I want what I want, So as a result of that, it was hard to let go, but you're starting to balance out, which is a very good thing. So with that choice between two, it will feel imbalanced. You will feel imbalanced, but I do see you. You say, oh, well, let's stay there. But that's how I know you get into that point where you're really done with the nonsense. But you will feel imbalanced with them both putting their energy your way, but also, too, at the same time, you actually will feel good, because you get the last laugh, because we know what's been going on with these two. I don't know why Spirit is saying it this way, but gentlemen callers, I know both of their history. We've been with you the whole time through both of these energies. So in that way, just know that it's going to be worked out in your favor. Let's get a couple more cards. And if anybody else wants a reading, please let me know. Otherwise, we won't stay very long. So it's going to work out in your favor, and your confidence is going to elevate, because anybody in love and relationships, to be clear, I've noticed this dynamic, you guys. Spirit doesn't just allow you to align with an advisor like me for one thing. You guys that have been with me for a long time, you know that. It's because they literally want to overhaul your whole life. And anytime you're dealing with love and relationship issues, it's also parallels and correlates with your love of self. So if you need to love yourself more, it'll be one of your greatest lessons dealing with love and connection, I've noticed. So there's still all that to say to you, Sharice. That's what they're calling you to continue to work on. Your self-love, your self-awareness. I always joke and I call you Jessica Rabbit, because beautiful woman. And not just aesthetically, but inside and out. So you deserve somebody who's going to treat you as such, as the queen you are. So this worrying you doing, you need to trade energies with these men and allow them to worry and stop worrying you. All right, that was 5. That goes by fast. Did anybody else want to get a mini read? Did that resonate? Yeah, they are. They are. I concur. Yes, it resonates. LOL. Okay. Well, I will be speaking to you next Wednesday, I believe. I have you on. Okay, Sharon. All right, you guys. I don't like the fast stuff. LOL. I know. Yeah, 5 minutes is like, we just started and it stopped. It's like, are you kidding me? Queen, keep going. You know what? I'm going to end it with, let me see if Spirit has any more messages for the collective in general. Okay? Let's get a few more messages out here. I'm not seeing anything in the comment section from you guys. Oh, I like this actually to add. So these people in power that have been greedy, I'm seeing a negative balance. So people are going to be losing money. Those in power are going to be losing money. I'm glad it was, Sharice. They're going to be losing money. And people that think they were pissed off about some of the changes that have been made or not getting their way. Because it's like one of those things where we've given you and you want more and more and more and more. Those people who wanted more are going to have even less than what we gave in the first place. Because the thing is, these people are filthy rich. They went from, they're literally trillions. They have trillions more dollars and it's still not enough. Spirit is saying it's already working on the back end for the people. And the thing is right now, this lady symbolizes the American people. They're discontent. They're tired. They're wallowing in pain. They're tired of the highs and lows. They're over it. And then you have a government that's lying to them and saying that everything is going to be okay. Just do what we say, because they think that the people are ignorant. That's what they were going back to the beginning. People in power think that people who are citizens are just sheep and we need to be told what to do because we're stupid. Literally. That's literally in history books. This is why they market and campaign the silly things like, I don't know if you guys realize this, but reality TV was literally put into place to desensitize people. There have been people who have unalived or unalived themselves or been unalived and lit in front of a camera. We know the most recent one. I will not give his name. No, we're not doing that on here. People watch that and they watch it over on a loop. That's how desensitized people are. So they've been doing this for years, guys. They've been doing this for the last decade, this desensitization. Oh, let's put the Kardashians in front of them. Let's make them still filthy, stinking rich. Some girls who cause all these issues and destroy people. They want to know what the Kardashians are doing. What's the latest Skims thing? That's more important than people's lives. So let's keep them busy with buying things they don't need. Keep yourself informed so you're not left without. Six of Cups says that, another thing is Spirit's not going to give everything intentionally because it doesn't want people to know the plan because it wants people to enact their free will as well. It wants to see who's going to stand up because those people are going to be in the books. I forget her name right now, but she's in my county. She's a young lady and powerful voice. Reminds me a lot of a young Martin Luther King, and she is literally mobilizing her people, her brown people, Hispanics. A lot of Hispanics are asking, where are the black people? A lot of black people, they joke and they're saying like, we're staying quiet. This ain't our fight. Yes, it is. It's all of our fight. You know what I mean? So, but we also know what it's like to be, we're constantly fought against, to put it simply. Our fight has never really stopped. It's just other people are finally starting to feel the pinch that are of different nationalities, but considered people of color in the melting pot that are being touched now. But the thing about it is everything was literally written in the proposition that Trump gave. Everything that we're going through, he said that he would do, and he's making good on it. And actually he didn't do. Him and his counterparts put together and are following through on it because that man alone couldn't do it. I'm going to just say it that way. All right, guys. So I gave the last little bit there. Now that you've been made aware by your advisor, do what you can in the space that you're in. Make sure you pray for the collective. Spirit is here right now at present. That's why these orbs keep flying across. I'm seeing gold. They're saying here right now, for those of you guys that are in this live, if you come across some extra money, feed somebody you see that might be in need, that's homeless. I don't make announcements about what I do. I feel like really caring for others is not putting it on social media. I don't have to talk about what charities I donate to. I don't have to talk about what homeless people I feed. You should just do it because it's human kindness. So Spirit is saying, for those of you guys who are in this live, you're going to be blessed with a little extra. If you see that guy that's standing at the corner or that woman and those children and you feel moved to do something for them, do something for them. That baby doesn't have a coat, buy her one. That person is asking for food, buy them some food. If you got a little extra change in your purse, give it to them. Every little act of kindness goes a long way. We need to be more kinder. And that's something that has never improved in our world. All right, guys. Thank you again for coming out tonight. Until then, you guys have a great night. I'll be seeing you guys. Right? I don't like that if you're going to donate, why post it? Because people do things for attention. A lot of influencers, they do it because they want attention. Now, there are influencers that they show you the person that they're going to help so that you guys can volunteer to aid. But there are people who literally just want attention. They want credit for what they're doing. A person with a real good heart doesn't need the attention. They show up every day and they show up in kindness simply because you should be. Kindness is free. It doesn't cost a dime. But here we are. We live in a space where people want attention and they want power. They feel inferior without it. And if you ask anybody that is on a particular side of hate that wakes up, the first thing that they'll tell you is that person catered to my inferiority, my smallness, my small thinking. But I had to wake up. And thankfully, a lot of people are. They've done it when it's a late time to do it. However, if we're going according to spirit, it's not truly late because of the simple fact that this was meant to happen so that change could come. We'll overcome. But let's not do it with our eyes shut, okay? All right, you guys. You guys be blessed. And thanks again for coming out. Have a good night.